let's shift gears then. We've got Jayen Mehta. He's the Managing Director at Amul as well, now joining in on the show here to talk about their overall business outlook as well as volume growth and more. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for joining in. So let's get a sense as to what kind of growth you're penciling in, because it's been 18% growth for FY23. What has really driven this? Has it been volume or value? And do you think that this 18% growth is here to stay?
Thanks so much. Good morning, everyone, for having me on the show. It's a pretty good time for the dairy industry in general and the cooperatives in particular. As you rightly mentioned, Amul GCF turnover this year grew by 18.5% at about 55,000 crores. And the Amul brand turnover is about 72,000 crores, making it the largest FMCG brand in the country. This has been driven by both value and volume. And we are been consistently growing at about 15-18% over the last decade. So this is for sure, this volume is going to continue for a long period of time. The good part has been the return in demand post-COVID, and that's been aiding the growth in all the consumer products that we work with. And more importantly, the kind of outlook that we have for adding more products in our portfolio, working on developing the organic products business, and a lot of other opportunities in expanding the cooperative network across the country. All this will help in maintaining, in fact, expediting the growth rate in the times to come.
Right. You know, you've recently taken charge as well as the new MD after Mr. R.S. Sodhi. Just wanted to understand, you know, what direction do you wish to steer Amul in for, say, the next decade?
See, Amul is a 76-year-old brand. GCF, our organization, is completing 50 years this year, and I have been here for the last 32 years. So practically, this is an engine powered by 36 lakh farmers, and the kind of volume and the distribution network that we have. I mean, the only direction we can move forward is one, and that's upward. Having said that, as I mentioned, there have been positive times for the cooperative sector. The kind of support the government is giving to cooperatives across the country by recognizing that cooperative is now a tool of development for upliftment of the people in the marginal section of the society. So, I mean, on one side, the government has already announced that they want to set up 200,000 more village cooperative societies, dairy cooperative societies across India, in addition to the 2 lakh current societies that we currently have. So what happened in the last 50 years is going to happen in the next 5 years, which means more milk will flow into the organized sector, and that will bring in more business opportunities for all the brands associated with cooperatives across the country. More importantly, we are promoting 2 new multi-state cooperatives, one for exports and other for organics, which means all cooperatives in the country will get an international market access for their products. Amul, of course, is exporting to more than 50 countries, but here we are looking at large number of cooperatives across the country finding international market for their products. Right. And the second is the organic initiative, where we'll connect with organic producers, and we have a brand for promoting organic products. So these are the 2 great business opportunities that we are working with, in addition to developing our dairy business.
Okay, so a lot of opportunities lined up for Amul, but Mr. Mehta, I wanted to get your take regarding the prices, because the retail milk prices have soared, 15% in the last 1 year, the highest that we have seen in a decade. Where do you see the prices trending from here on? Because there have been a slew of price hikes taken by yourself as well.
I think the point you made is right, but you don't look at just 1 year, you look at 4-year period, because from 19 onwards, we had 2 years of COVID in which there was no price increase taken by anyone. And then we had to take care of the increased inflation for our producers, increased cost of feed fodder, and the other issues related to milk production. So the last 1 year was a bit abnormal, but if you look at it in 3 to 4 years perspective, the price increase for milk for the consumers has been more or less in line with the inflation. Having said that, the producers also have to be compensated for the increased cost, and that's why we had to take very, very calibrated measures in increasing the price of dairy products. But I think now the situation is pretty good across the country, and when the flush season in north ends, the flush season in south starts. So we will see increased supplies of milk coming from the southern part of the country, and obviously the next flush season for the north and west is also going to be superb. So things should be pretty good for the industry in general. And I don't think there is much reason to worry on that point of view.
So are you saying the bulk of the price hikes are taken and now at least the prices have stabilized, or there could be still some upside?
I mean, I can only talk about Amul, and that's what the perspective I raised, that now milk procurement has, I mean, we did see a dip in the milk procurement last year because of the issues which I just mentioned. But now we are past that. There's been a growth in milk procurement in our system in the month of March, which was about 3%. From April onwards, we are looking at 6 to 8, 10% increase in procurement in the times to come. So at least for Gujarat, things are pretty good, and that's where we are currently.
Okay, you also had a plan to achieve the sales turnover of 1 lakh crore by 2025. Do you think large part of the upside will now come from the value-added products as well, or is it going to be milk and dairy which will continue to have the largest share in terms of growth as well?
Yeah, we have a portfolio which is quite balanced portfolio. Fresh products, which is actually the best form of value addition, which means you sell milk, buttermilk, curd, paneer, fresh every day morning with a very high turnover. I think it's half of our portfolio. Value-added dairy products like the butter, cheese, ghee, shikand, all growing at more than 20%. Are another strong part of the portfolio. Our commodity business through our dairy trade portal, we are getting the best prices. And fourth is the international business. So that way, these are the four core business of Amul, which have been doing very well. In addition to that, I mentioned about our impact focus on organic space, and that's also going to give us additional business, because now we are in space of almost every item that you consume in your kitchen. So be it organic atta or organic rice or different types of pulses, we are soon getting into sugar, jaggery, spices, and so on. So a big portfolio of organic products supplementing the already strong core dairy product portfolio makes Amul a very, very strong and a formidable brand, both in the mind space of the consumers and as far as the distribution muscle is concerned, and more importantly, the connect with the producers.
Mr. Mehta, you are very close to the rural side of the economy as well. Could you talk to us about how that is doing with respect to how the income has gone up for the rural India at this point of time, how the demand momentum is also there?
Yes, ma'am. The point is here very simple, that whatever consumer spends, I mean, if you spend 100 rupees on Amul products or dairy products, 85% share goes to the farmers. So the higher the growth in the business means more income for the producers. And once the producer takes care of the cost of feeding the cows and other things, the disposable income there also boosts the rural economy of the country. And milk, as we have seen, there has been no major decline or dip in the prices, and we can look at 10, 20, 30, 40 years period. So despite good increase in production of milk consistently across decades, we have seen the prices also remaining at stable level thanks to the intervention by the cooperatives in the system. So the farmers definitely benefit out of working with dairy cooperatives, and Amul is a shining example of that.
Not just dairy cooperatives, but other than that, what is your own sense on how the rural economy is shaping up right now? Because, up until last year, we saw that urban India did way better. So just wanted to get a sense at large from you.
I mean, we work with almost every single village in Gujarat, and about 18,600 villages of Gujarat and more than 10,000 outside Gujarat also. So our sense is that there is optimism in the rural area thanks to the buoyancy in the market and the expansion plans that we have, which means that more milk they produce will be absorbed in the system. The effect of productivity enhancement and productivity improvement also is helping the farmers, which means their interest in the cattle breeding continues to be there. And once this buoyancy is there, they would invest more into the cattle and their incomes increase, which will mean the growth in the rural economy also. I mean, agriculture, dairy contributes to 1/4 of the agriculture or more than that. And the buoyancy in the dairy sector definitely contributes to growth in the rural economy of the country.
Okay, Mr. Mehta, we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about a whole host of issues.